welcome to the YPO Energy Efficiency webinar, and we'll be just talking about how YPO can support your school in reducing your energy usage and achieving both environmental and monetary savings. So just introduce myself, I'm Kerry Walker, I'm one of the YPO Energy category buyers. My main frameworks are the YPO low carbon microgeneration and low carbon and heat frameworks. So just looking about what this webinar will cover. So there'll be a brief introduction about YPO, talking about YPO Energy, energy in schools, how to create an energy plan, what your next steps could be, IT energy management, the energy efficiency frameworks we offer, the procurement process, what next, and how to contact the team if you want to move forward. So it's just a bit about YPO, if you're unfamiliar with us. So we are the largest public sector buying organisation with 13 founder members and 65 associate members. We're 100% publicly owned. We cover and supply products including stationery, cleaning products, furniture, but then we also do compliant frameworks that you can access for energy, HR, ICT, FM, fleet. In total, there was, in 2017, £676 million of public money went through the company, and we're based in Wakefield in West Yorkshire and employ over 500 people. So a bit more just about the YPO Energy team. So at the moment, we manage approximately 3,500 school energy accounts. Our frameworks are used by individual schools and academies, right up to local authorities, and then also emergency services, fire services and charities. So we have about 10 energy frameworks that can be accessed. So those include obviously electricity, gas, liquid and solid fuels, but then we have moved into the energy efficiency frameworks such as LED lighting, low carbon heating and solar PV. We are looking at developing the frameworks further to just meet with the demands of what our customers require. But if you wanted to know any more about the team or anything about supporting you on your energy journey, just visit the YPO Energy for Schools website. So just a bit of background about energy efficiency in schools. So this chart is from the Carbon Trust, and it just really shows the biggest areas of usage and cost of energy in schools. And as you can see from the pie chart on the left, heating really, and majority of that will be gas, does really take up the highest percentage of energy use, and also the cost. So really, if you look through the charts, you can really analyse what areas you want to target and maybe start with a few and then move on to other areas. So when a lot of the schools we deal with, we do see that heating is, and lighting are the areas that they want to focus first and then move on to other areas. So for any schools starting out on their energy efficiency journey, what we'd recommend first is to create an energy plan. This just really provides structure to any energy efficiency projects you might propose. So the Carbon Trust have a really useful Excel spreadsheet, and the link's on the slide, which really just breaks down all the key areas that you need to consider, such as staff engagement, monitoring and analysing energy use, communications and strategy. And then from this spreadsheet, it will produce an output, as in the bottom right image. And that really just shows where, like what percentage you're doing at the moment, but also areas you can improve. And then as such, you'll be able to really pinpoint areas of improvement. So once you create that energy plan, what we first really say to all customers is just conduct a walkthrough survey. So that first step would be walk around the building, engage with other staff members and students, just to identify any potential inefficiencies firsthand. It's okay analysing data, but just to look at the appliances, just see if they're ineffective, or look at lighting if it's non-LED, and it also drafts or fabrication issues. And then if you conduct a staff survey, you'll be able to highlight any issues and prioritise tasks. So if, for instance, there's a heating inefficiency, then for staff well-being, maybe address that before you go on to the lighting. Also, what we recommend is now a lot of suppliers, I mean, any YPO customer will have access to online portals to track their energy usage for electricity and gas. And if you're not a YPO customer, I'm sure if you talk to your existing supplier, they may also have similar portals. And these portals really hold all your data for your energy use through the year. So you'll be able to see annually any seasonal peaks and lows, and also any abnormal peaks. So if you've got the heating on 2 degrees too hot in the summer, you might not feel it, but this will be reflected in your energy bills. And it really does help identify any issues, or once you've analysed them, you can see real savings. Once you talk to suppliers about, say, LED lighting, what that impact will have on your costs overall. But I've added on the links, if you are a YPO customer, to the 2 portals, and if you need any assistance with account logins, just contact the team. So the next stage, once you've completed your walkthrough surveys and staff surveys and you've analysed data, what you could do then, if you so choose, is to employ an external energy consultant, and they will come through and perform a much more in-depth technical survey. So what they could look at is they could analyse the energy consuming equipment, energy contracts, they could assess site information, number of occupants, periods of occupancy, and they'll know really who to benchmark against and what a school your size really should be consuming. We do have an energy consultancy framework that if you would like to speak to a team, you might be able to utilise if you're not sure who to approach, and all these consultants on the framework have passed certain requirements to be able to provide their service. So once a school's completed their energy audits and analysed data, they're sometimes overwhelmed with what they should tackle first. So what we've found with talking to schools is 2 of the main areas that they can really see some financial benefits from reductions are installing LED lighting or upgrading existing systems, and then reducing heating costs really. So for lighting, as like the below quote from the Carbon Trust shows, you can really impact heavily on those lighting bills, and with the new measures, reduce costs by up to 65 and 85%. So some real quick wins for schools. So for schools really, the final stage, once you've identified areas that you really want to target with energy efficiency, is really communicate your plans with the whole school. So get complete buy-in, not just from staff, but also from pupils. And then once you start publicising the savings you're making, both in monetary and carbon emission terms, it really does improve internal engagement of it, and really gets everyone championing like the new policies, and it's something to be proud of and communicated with the wider network. So really, like, the next steps that we want to talk about is, once you've really established that you want to become a much more energy efficient school, how do you then buy these products or install these products and maintain these products to achieve that? So YPO has a number of key frameworks that you could utilise. These include, so the low carbon microgeneration, LED lighting, low carbon and heat, and then solid fuels and biomass. So the first framework that I want to talk about is the low carbon electrical microgeneration. So this is our solar and wind framework. For the solar option for schools, it's a DPS. So this framework means it's a dynamic purchasing system where suppliers can continually join through the life of the framework. This really helps with locality and industry innovation. So we currently have 24 suppliers as of March 2019, and not all 24 suppliers will bid for works, but it ensures that the ones that do really, so it stimulates competition, so you're not just got a one price, you've got the reassurance that you're going to get best value. This framework really helps with the whole product life cycle of the solar PV. So you can start from the initial on-site surveys into feasibility, design, installation, and then post-contract management. And we're on hand really to help you to ensure that when you publish these documents, that you've really caught all the aspects and that you're going to achieve best value. And you've also got that reassurance that the suppliers are on there, are financially stable, they're certified to industry standards, and that they are fit to conduct the work in the long term. The next framework we talk about is the low energy lighting. So this framework is split into 3 lots, so your internal, external and emergency lighting. It's also, like the solar one before, a DPS. So as of March 2019, there's 15 suppliers, and as much like the solar framework, not all suppliers will bid for every job, but you have got that, it's going to stimulate the market and have competitive pricing. Much like the solar framework, these suppliers will help you from initial scoping and site surveys to installation and then maintenance of the lighting. And then also you rest assured that you've got a contact at YPO who can support you through the journey, so you're not just receiving documents. We're going to help you step by step from award to evaluation. Another framework that we have is the low carbon heating. So this one's split into 5 lots, as shown on the slide. For us, one of the most common used one is the biomass boilers, which works with the next slide, which is about biomass chips. So again, as the other 2 frameworks, this is a DPS, and as of March 2019, there's 17 suppliers across the 5 lots. And with these systems, especially CHP, because they are such both large in scale but large in financial costs, YPO has the relationship with the suppliers that they can really support you throughout the whole journey. So from initial site survey, speccing the requirements to installation and maintenance. And then finally, the last framework is the solid fuels framework. Now, this is for biomass wood chips and pellets for the biomass boilers on the CHP framework. As the other frameworks, it's a DPS, and then as of March 2019, there's 13 suppliers on this. So I talked about the frameworks. If you want more information about each of those frameworks, if you go to the YPO frameworks page, the link's just on the slide, and then you can download a user guide to read through, and then it will also have key benefits of each of the frameworks that you can review. And then if you want to move forward, next steps, if you contact the energy inbox, so energy@ypo.co.uk, the team will assist you. So the first step really is an access agreement, and then we can send you templated documentation so you can start your further competition. And then really the next steps afterwards are in your control, so we can support you as much or as little as you like. We do have a due north e-tendering portal, which we can upload all the documentation just to ensure that the further competition coordinated and the administration is as smooth as possible, and the award of the framework is compliant with the ODU regulations. So then just a few benefits of why go through YPO rather than direct with suppliers. So the frameworks really have been created with the customer in mind. So we understand how daunting it is when it's such a large, complex project. So we've ensured that the suppliers on our frameworks really can manage these and have experience of doing so. Then also, when we launch these frameworks, we really do interact heavily with the supply market. It's not a quick publication. We spend a good 12 to 18 months researching the market and who could provide the servicing. And then we also manage each supplier. So we have a good relationship with the suppliers on all our frameworks. And we have regular review meetings just to ensure that they perform to the level that we and our customers expect. And then through the projects that we've already coordinated, we can bring best practice to any further competition that you decide to run, to ensure that you can achieve best value, but also the best quality of service. So if you'd like any further information about the frameworks, or you want to discuss further about your school's energy efficiency projects, you can just email the team. So you can email on the energy@ypo.co.uk inbox, and then we can get back to you and assist you on your next steps. Okay, and then that just concludes the webinar. So thank you very much for listening.